Hey everyone, just let me put my microphone on. All right, and we are off. Well, I want to wish everybody a very happy Saturday. Hopefully you all are having a great start to the weekend. It's already June. Now before we start, I got to tell you guys something kind of crazy. Now yesterday in New York, it was 90 degrees. Quite literally. Yesterday in Midtown Manhattan, well, particularly in Central Park, I think it was the official recording, it got up to a high of 92 degrees, okay? So think about yesterday being 92 degrees, and then I wake up today, and it's in the high 50s. Now, it got up to 62 today, but I think right now we are in Dumbo, Brooklyn, so welcome everybody to Brooklyn, New York. We are finally here after a long time. Man, when is the last time we were in Brooklyn? I don't even know. Hopefully the internet holds up. But we went summer, raging hot. It's the winter. I mean, I'm an idiot tonight. I actually wore a t-shirt. I have no idea why. So we're gonna have to bang out the miles tonight. Saturdays, we do not talk about the financial markets. It's sort of our day off, right? So I thought it'd be appropriate to come to a particular neighborhood of New York City where we never really travel to, right? Because usually during the day, I'm working, and then when I get out of the office, it's easier for me to just do the live streams in Manhattan. But tonight, I think it'll be fun to take you guys around Brooklyn. So that is where we are today. If you see this bridge right here, guys, this is the very famous Manhattan Bridge. And if you were tuning into the Walks in Wall Street live stream this week, we actually were walking over this bridge. I think we're gonna head to Manhattan. We're not gonna walk over the Manhattan Bridge. We're gonna walk back over the Brooklyn Bridge, and hopefully the wind noise isn't too bad, because not only is it freezing cold here in New York, it's about 56 degrees as we're recording this live stream, but it's windy. It's windy, guys. Now, we're standing in Brooklyn, we're overlooking Manhattan. You see the little blue spire sticking up? That's actually the One Vanderbilt building. So to give you guys some perspective of where we're looking, right here, all the way uptown, that is Grand Central Station area. This is the brand new Extel development that we were talking about earlier on the stream. But before we start, let me say hello to everybody in the chat. NJB is here. Hey, long time no see, my friend. Hopefully you're doing well. Conrad M is here. Michael Scott, always a pleasure to see you. Brian, Christine, British Gray from Tampa, Florida. Welcome. Sam is here. Thank you, Sam. Good to see you, man. How are you? I see Tug Carter, my good friend, Hawaii. Thank you for joining us. Who else we got? Jafet Perez. What's up, Jafet? Robert Brunn. This is good evening. Hey, Paul. Paul Brunell is here. What's up, Paul? LB. This is hello from New Hampshire. Good to see everybody from New Hampshire. Now, check out this view. This is an awesome, awesome view here. You have the entire skyline of Lower Manhattan. And I'm so glad we came here tonight because there's clouds in the sky. Now, when we walked over the Brooklyn Bridge and the Manhattan Bridge last week, there was no clouds. It was the perfect night, but I think the contrast of the clouds over the World Trade Center, over Lower Manhattan, really makes for a good picture. Now, does anybody know what this bridge is? We were actually here last night. So if you remember last night's live stream, we were walking through Delancey, and we were right at the beginning of the Williamsburg Bridge, which is right there. And then as we continue to walk, you'll be able to see the Empire State Building. Hey, Solo Flyer says, what's up, Tom, watching from Suffolk County. Hey, you know what? I'll be out on Long Island not too long. I may actually head out there tomorrow night. So I'll be in your neck of the woods, perhaps. Photos from around New York is here. What is up? Solo 401 says, where are we in Dumbo? Yeah, this is Dumbo, Brooklyn. This is an awesome view of the Manhattan Bridge. This is sort of the park. We're going to walk through the park. It sort of weaves around the Manhattan Bridge. Hopefully the internet holds up. But look at some of these new developments that are being built right on the water here. I mean, imagine having an apartment in one of these brand new developments. Your view is probably, I mean, this is just an unmatched view, right? Check that out. You have all of the Manhattan Bridge, and you could even see a little bit of the Empire State Building. Check that out. I'll try to zoom in for you guys. Hey, Meld says you could take the ferry back to Manhattan. Yeah, I thought about it. I think I'm gonna walk it. I need some exercise tonight. It's been a very crazy and busy week at work, so I think it's probably appropriate to maybe just get a walk in. Who knows? Lena Sandoval is here. This is the water. You can kind of see how it crashes up against the rocks here, which is really nice. Fred X, what's up? Always a pleasure to see you. You can see the Brooklyn Bridge in the distance. But before we go there, I want to take you guys to that famous spot. Has anybody, I'm sure you guys have seen the famous photo, right? Where you could see the Empire State Building through the sort of the main structure of the Manhattan Bridge. I'm sure you guys have seen it. I think I'll take you there tonight before we walk sort of around the park. Hey, Marilyn is here. She's watching from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. Thank you so much for doing this. Good to see you. Welcome. Ariana is here. Richard Vogel. Good to see everybody. And also, as we're walking through Dumbo, I want you guys to notice the contrast from the original buildings that were here in Brooklyn since, I mean, hundreds of years ago, right? Over 100 years ago. But unfortunately, some of the old character of Brooklyn is being torn down. And you can see they're building all of these ultra luxury apartments. There's actually one right here, which I think this is actually some sort of like a WeWork style, like office sharing space, but you get the point, right? So all on the shoreline here were these original buildings. Some of them are still standing, but I think over the next couple of years, you're gonna see this big trend, it's already happening, of these brand new developments. You can actually see all the construction. This is Bay Crane. I think I told you guys before, but my uncle is actually in Local 14, which is the Union of Operating Engineers here in the city. So they run all the heavy equipment. So the cranes, you know, the big, essentially the big rigs. And unfortunately during 9/11, my uncle actually slept in his crane. A lot of volunteers, a lot of construction workers volunteered their time and their equipment to sort of, you know, clean up after the terrorist attack. But look at this, look at this scaffolding here, or I should say the fire escapes. Really beautiful. Yeah, People Unite says ultra-modern architects create ugly buildings, in my opinion. I think they can. I mean, I don't think your opinion is totally wrong, right? Obviously, architecture is subjective, just sort of like comedy is subjective. You know, some people, you know, will write me an email and say, hey, you know, I think 432 Park Avenue is really ugly. I think, you know, Central Park Tower doesn't look good. I think, you know, 157 doesn't look good. But I actually really like those buildings. I think they look really unique, and I think they're really amazing feats of engineering, honestly. So, I don't know, I think, you know, I think it's good to have a healthy mix, but I do agree with you. Some of it can just be very off-putting. I think, for example, when we do our live streams in South Beach, what they've been doing over the past couple of years is tearing down those original Art Deco style buildings and putting up sort of like a modern kind of, I'm not really a big fan of it. Let's just say that. Not a big fan. Hey, Daryl's here from Chicago, Illinois. What's up, Daryl? Cypress Hill says greetings from Poland. Good to see all of our Polish viewers. So you're going to sort of see the neighborhood of Dumbo. There's a lot of shops, a lot of restaurants. But as we make a right here on Water Street, you're going to be able to see a little bit more. Here's another one. This building was totally repurposed. Back in the day, these were all warehouses and the like. You could see it's ultra luxury lobby, ultra luxury apartments. You have some miniature bars here. This is called the Olympia Bar. Pretty quiet, kind of nice. Hey, Justin S. is where do the Nets play in Brooklyn? So they play right outside of the Atlantic Terminal. It's called the Barclays Center. This is J Street. So we're on the corner of J Street and Water Street. Now, I used to take the Long Island Railroad very, very often, get off at Atlantic Terminal, Brooklyn. I haven't been there in a long, long time. Here's another sort of bar. People are hanging out. Sam plays, says, can you visit Ground Zero World Trade Center? Yeah, you know, we actually were just down there pretty much almost every day of last week. So if you go back to one of those live streams last week, we were down there, but we'll definitely go there again for sure. You know, the Wall Street area, Zuccotti Park, and the like. Hey, Long Island Duck. Oh yeah, the Liberty also plays. Yeah, that is the WNBA team. All right, let's make a right here. So this is the Manhattan Bridge. We'll actually probably be able to see the subway going over. Hey, Brendan O'Brien, what's up? Wendy England, pleasure to see you. I should have wore a jacket tonight. It's freezing out. But yeah, tomorrow, so for those of you who are new here, Monday through Friday is when we have our dedicated topics, right, as it relates to the financial markets here on the stream. Saturdays is sort of when we just hang out, sort of our day off just to walk around, explore a new neighborhood. But on Sundays, which is tomorrow night, is when we have the markets, a look ahead live stream where we go through day by day of all the major up and coming events on Wall Street. So now we're right under the Manhattan Bridge. This is going to be a really unique shot for all of those who are unfamiliar with the neighborhood. Hopefully the internet holds up. The internet is usually a little spotty in and around the Manhattan Bridge. You can see the Empire State Building all the way in the distance. All right, now we are officially walking under the Manhattan Bridge. See so much construction going on. Somebody says, whatever happened to the Vespa / scooter popularity? It is. It's very popular here, especially among the food delivery bike people. You know, I don't really see many on the electric bikes anymore. A lot of them have been buying those sort of Vespas and scooters. I have one down in Miami. It's the best way to get around and the cheapest and most inexpensive way. So if you're interested in moving down to Southern Florida, particularly Miami or Fort Lauderdale, all you got to do is spend $1,000 or like $1,500, get yourself a nice Vespa. Hey, hello mate 2008, what's up? Good to see you. Welcome. I know our piece is bipolar weather in New York City. Dude, it was 90 degrees yesterday. And right now, it's like 56 degrees out. It's freezing. Can you guys hear the roar of the subway going over? Look at all the original cobblestone streets here. The subway is going over the Manhattan Bridge right now. Hey, cool weather farmer, what's up? One more shot of the Manhattan Bridge. Hey, Western Mass Dave, what's up? Welcome to Dumbo, Brooklyn. Sally is here. Good to see everybody. There's the famous Dumbo sign they put up, D-U-M-B-O. I think there was some sort of event where they have all these elephants parachuting, like these little toy elephants. Like they throw them off, I don't know where they throw them off. Maybe they throw them outside of the windows or something. This is all Midtown Manhattan down here. We're on the corner of Water Street and Adams Street. Ed Podcasts, you're starting to talk like somebody from Florida. I love Florida, man. I'll be back there pretty soon. I'll be back in Miami next week for a little bit. I'm going to be doing some exciting stuff down there. So this is Washington Street and Water Street. Nice restaurants. And I think this is where that famous sort of intersection is, right? Where you can see the Empire State Building through the bridge. So this is that sort of famous thing, right? If you look right here, that's the Empire State. Pretty cool. I haven't been here in a long time. I haven't seen this in probably well over a year. I think this is probably one of the most photographed parts of Brooklyn, New York, for sure. Hey, Techno Pink, what's up? Guys, Techno Pink is our friend from the Dominican Republic. Good to see you, sir. Hopefully you'll be able to make a visit to New York this summer. All right, let me try to zoom in for you. So that's the shot. If you've ever seen it on like Facebook or Instagram or whatever, I think it's kind of unique. Very beautiful. Fred X, God bless. Good to see you. Now, all of these old buildings, right, are repurposed into apartments. It's very, very expensive here, by the way. This is 30 Washington Street, 1 and 2 bedrooms, apparently now leasing. I'd say these probably all go for well over 4 or 5. Maybe even more depending on where you are. In the building, higher floors probably go for way more than that. But I could see why, right? You're quite literally looking directly at the Manhattan Bridge. All right, we will make a left here. And you're gonna be able to see the Brooklyn Bridge dead ahead. And once we get past this tree line, you'll be able to see the One World Trade Center. Hey, Big G says, how bad is the crime in this area? It's non-existent almost. This particular neighborhood, a lot of people don't know. Dumbo, Brooklyn, also Williamsburg. It's very, very, very expensive. Almost, in some cases, more expensive than Manhattan, right? All of this particular neighborhood is all gentrified. I mean, imagine living in this apartment and that's your view. Look at that. So imagine those are your apartment units, and as you're reading a book or waking up and having your morning coffee, this is what you're looking at. That is not a bad view. That is pretty fantastic. And I think that's why it commands such a high price. Hey, Michael Joseph, what's up? Says, are you gonna go to the carousel? I think we will. We're gonna be hanging around Brooklyn tonight. Really beautiful views here. Hey, Gabriel's here, says hello from Aventura, Florida. Hey, Gabriel. That's the carousel that Michael Joseph was talking about. You can actually see the New York City water taxi coming through here. Yeah, look at that, wow. That is prime real estate right there. Look at that. It's gorgeous. Big G says, yeah, so you'd basically have to be a millionaire to live there. I mean, not necessarily, right? You know, if you're looking at a rental, you really have to make, 40 times the rent. So, if you're a couple or something, you don't have to be a millionaire. Maybe to purchase, perhaps. All right, so now you're looking at the Brooklyn Bridge, and I'm gonna pan over. That is the brand new Extel development. We were just talking about this the other night. There was actually an interesting article in the Wall Street Journal about that building. Unbelievable amenities it has, just really insane. And then you're looking at the Manhattan Bridge. Now, the neighborhood right now today is kind of dead, right? You're not really seeing too many people outside. But that's because New York decided to go back to March. So we woke up, we went to sleep in June and we woke up in March. It's freezing out. It's like 55 degrees. Usually this would all be totally packed, right? All of the outdoor dining here. This would usually be 100% filled up. Hey, Bree Grams, what's up? Miss Willie C says, beautiful view. It's good to see you. Happy Saturday. Mr. 007, what's up? Looks like the carousel is closed. Yeah, Adi, it was 90 degrees yesterday, quite literally 90 degrees. And today we're walking around right now and it's in the 50s. All right, this is the Brooklyn Bridge, absolutely beautiful tonight. Here's the carousel, which is currently closed, but it still looks kind of nice, right? Jane's Carousel, very famous attraction here in Dumbo, Brooklyn. And this is where we started the live stream, right over there, right under the Manhattan Bridge. Hey, Destruction Dynamics says, hey Tom, I took your advice last night and took the subway to the Brooklyn Bridge. It was an amazing first experience with nobody there. Oh, dude, that's awesome, man. That makes me really happy. I'm glad you had a good time. And welcome to New York, by the way. We're happy you're here. We're glad you're here. And hopefully, maybe one day you'll consider moving here permanently. I think that would be the ultimate goal. Oh, I think it's an engagement here. How nice is that? Look at that. Wow, that is like picture perfect. It's like something out of a movie. Look at that. Wow. That is breathtaking. Beautiful contrast with One World Trade Center and the clouds in the background. Yeah, Ed Podcast says that's an epic wedding. That's nice that they do stuff like that, you know? Hey, Adrian's is amazing shot. Hey, Adrian, good to see you. Now, if you look directly under the Manhattan Bridge, this is actually where we were yesterday. This is the Williamsburg Bridge. So we were walking around Delancey yesterday. It was a really nice walk. I enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it too. Bryant's is where is this located? Oh, I think they're making like an engagement video. That's really nice. That's cool. Yeah, Dan, I saw that. So Dan Zhang says, Tom, I'm not sure if you know, when Ryan Serhant proposed to his wife Amelia, he shut down the entire Times Square. I know, I saw that. I don't think you could top that. I think that is like untoppable. Is that a word? I think I just made that up, but we'll rock with it anyway. So what do you guys think? I want your feedback, because oftentimes we mainly only get to stream in Manhattan. Very, very seldom do I ever get to take you guys all the way out here to Brooklyn. So what do you guys think of Dumbo? What do you think of the neighborhood? Just a little bit that you've seen so far. We're gonna walk a little bit more. Wendy England, good to see you. J9 says this is gorgeous. All right, so this is the carousel. Hey, War Walker, speaking of Miami, we have our good pal War Walker. I'll be in your neck of the woods next week. Well, in 2 weeks, I'll be back in Miami. So maybe I'll stop by, say what's up. So the big blue box across the water, that's South Street Seaport. You guys could actually hear the waves under me. Can you guys hear that? Hey, Greg's is beautiful from Cincinnati. What's up, Greg? But you know what's the coolest by far? Yeah, South Street Seaport's beautiful. One World Trade Center is beautiful. But if you look to the left, well, now if you look directly ahead of you, you're actually going to be able to see the Statue of Liberty. It's that little green dot all the way in the distance. That is the Statue of Liberty. Right here, Statue of Liberty. Hey, Steph UH, what's up? Lee, what's up? Yeah. All right, this is the water taxi. Kathleen, that's a good question. So Kathleen says, do pedestrians have access to the Brooklyn Bridge on the 4th of July? I don't know that, actually. I would assume they keep it open. I don't know. I actually don't know the answer to that. It's a good question. All right, so now we are officially walking under the Brooklyn Bridge. This is kind of cool. They have a lot of the art in these empty, what do you call these things? Like the container ship? And you have the beautiful new development apartments in the back. Oh, it's the South Korea Animal Cafes. Hey, Ryan Beck, welcome to Brooklyn, New York, my friend. We're checking out Dumbo, Brooklyn tonight. Looks like a little bit of an art festival going on. This is right under the Brooklyn Bridge. Hey, Dan Zhang says, Tom, do you lose advertising revenue if you get copyright strike? I don't really make any money off the stream. I think every stream that I do gets copyrighted, so I don't really care about it. I don't mind. Well, look at those. Those are really nice units. Yeah, Destruction Dynamics is Dumbo relatively safe to visit late at night. This is probably one of the safest neighborhoods in New York. Williamsburg and Dumbo are very, very, very expensive neighborhoods. Very expensive. And some neighborhoods of Brooklyn are actually more fashionable than Manhattan. Not a lot of people know that. But there's been so much gentrification in Brooklyn, New York. And you can tell, can't you? I mean, every building is pretty much gut renovated, brand new. There's restaurants, there's ultra luxury apartments. This is the Brooklyn Ice Cream Factory in front of us. Yeah, Dan Zhang, this is in probably one of the most expensive neighborhoods in New York too. That's true. Now I think Pier 5 is around here. This is actually where I used to play soccer way back in the day. But let's cross. We'll sort of walk around the neighborhood. We got some time before we have to walk back to Manhattan. This is a good shot for you guys, the Brooklyn Bridge. Look at that. That's an awesome shot. That gives you an idea of just how windy it is out tonight. Look at the American flag. Looks like everybody's closing up though. Ryan back. Yo, Ryan, how is your new place? I think you told us you closed on a place a few months ago. Hopefully you're moving in and settling in. Now again, notice the difference. You can see the older style buildings. I did. Dan Zanks is where you walk to the Olympic Tower. That Frederick. So the Olympic Tower is right outside of the St. Patrick's Cathedral, isn't it? My friend has a unit in that building. That is a prime building. Now, the only thing about the Olympic Tower, it doesn't really have any amenities, but it has probably the best views in the city. Right? Probably because it's located directly behind St. Patrick's, and St. Patrick's is really, really low to the ground, so you have unobstructed views of all of Midtown Manhattan, all the way down to the World Trade Center too. But is that the one you were talking about? Ryan Becks, Tom, it's been great. Thanks for asking. Putting lots of furniture together and just getting a lot of art on the walls. Should be good for a while. Well, congratulations, dude. That's awesome. It's definitely a big life event, that's for sure, to get your, buy your first place, move in, get everything ready. Hey, Chris Mills, this is Tom. I'm visiting New York City in September. Looking forward to it. What's up? All right, this is Everett Street. The beautiful view of One World Trade Center. We'll cross here. Dusty Cole, how are you, sir? Welcome to Dumbo, Brooklyn. This is the Brooklyn Bridge. Hey, Deborah says you're in my hood, Dumbo. I didn't know you live in Dumbo, Deborah. You live in a nice, nice neighborhood. Keith Bernstein, what's up? Oh, the Olympia. Copy that. I probably just read it wrong. I always jumble around words. I tend to do that. No, I got to check that out. Dan, I'm going to be working right next to literally our offices are going to be on the same floor. So I'll be seeing him a lot. Keep you guys updated on that a little bit later. All right, let's continue to walk around the park. This is a really good view of the Empire State Building. Every time the water taxi goes by, you could hear the waves crashing. All right, this is a great shot of the Brooklyn Bridge, the Empire State Building, and One Vanderbilt. Hey, NBA Elias, what's up? Good to see you. Welcome to Dumbo. Hey, Evan Weeks. Guys, look at this huge barge going by. No, so Fort Hamilton is really, really far away from here. But I like Fort Hamilton as well. Yeah, Ryan Bex is speaking in new places. Did you get any further on finding a place in the city? Yeah, it's a good question. I'm looking at the Upper West Side, but here's the thing. I'm probably gonna move in early September, maybe-ish around there. So right now I'm just kind of looking around. I think the rents are gonna cool before then, so I think it'll be really good timing, but I'm looking anywhere between 79th Street all the way up to about 87th, 88th Street, preferably Columbus and Amsterdam Avenue. Yeah, Destruction Dynamics says, Tom, I could only imagine living here. It's such a different atmosphere to Toronto. I was always under the impression it's unrealistic to want to move to New York City making less than $60,000. Yeah, that's all fake news. That's all the nonsense you see on the internet. Look, New York City is an expensive place, but the opportunity here is just unreal, okay? So yeah, it's expensive, but chances are if you come here and you work hard and you, really, really bust your ass, you're going to be making well in excess of $60,000 a year. And even if you don't, that's fine. You know, many people live with roommates in Manhattan. You know, everybody needs to start somewhere. And I also think, a lot of people, if you look at the data, right, in New York City, there's a lot of people living in poverty, right? A lot. So the narrative that everybody living in New York City is rich, it's just not correct, right? There's lots and lots of different neighborhoods in New York City that, people have lower incomes, right? Oh, Michael Joseph, that's so cool. Your mom was a teacher at Fort Hamilton High School? Cool. Yeah, it's right near the Verrazano Bridge. It's beautiful over there. All right, I'll give you guys one more shot of the Brooklyn Bridge here. And then I'll take you guys on one more loop around the park. Wow, Steph UH says, Tom, my brother was responsible for the military operation evacuating people from the tip of Manhattan on 9/11. Wow, God bless him. Well, thank you for that. That's awesome. Yeah, and a lot of just regular New Yorkers, right, after 9/11 would volunteer their time to help out. I think the city and the country is probably more united than it's ever been after 9/11. It's kind of sad that it takes like a horrible tragedy like that in order to unite the country, but it seems like that's what happened. Okay, I'll make one quick lap around the park and then we're gonna double back and I'm gonna take you guys on a walk back over the Brooklyn Bridge to Lower Manhattan, and then we'll probably end the stream in Chinatown. Hey, Hawaii says, I wonder how far Pier 35 is from where you are. Pier 35, I'm trying to think. I'm not too sure, actually. I'm trying to think, because Pier 5 is more this way, and I really only ever spent a lot of time there at Pier 5. All right, one more panoramic shot from Dumbo. Holy crap, that was loud. Hey, Evan Weeks was just looking at a 2-bedroom condo in New York City, Midtown East. About $500,000 in mortgage plus $4,200 a month in HOA fees. $4,200 in HOA fees seems really, really high. That seems really, really high. $4,200 a month in HOA fees. I'm very curious as to what building that is, because that's high. The HOA fees, $4,200 a month. That must be like some ultra luxury building. Because you could actually find apartments in New York. Now, I've said this before. I think the best deals, if you're looking to buy in New York City right now, is right on Central Park South. Because what we're seeing in New York right now is that people are flocking to the new fashionable and up-and-coming areas and neighborhoods, which just so happens to be Tribeca right now. Everybody is like obsessed and falling over themselves to get into Tribeca. But Central Park South is a very, very timeless place, and it's always going to be very, very well kept. People always want to view Central Park. It's a major, major tourist destination. And oftentimes, people, when they live in the city, one of their biggest complaints is they feel cooped up. You know, they feel like they've just been walking in concrete every day, and they need a break from the city, which sort of forces them to leave or sell their properties. If you live at Central Park South, you literally have Central Park as your backyard. And if you look at the price per square foot on Central Park South, it's trading at a significant discount to that of Tribeca. So if you're in the market for like a 2-bedroom apartment, you would be surprised there's mispricing right now on Central Park South. Now, again, some of the buildings are a little bit older, but they're timeless and they're very classic. And again, that is the location where you want to be. I mean, you can't beat that location. So I think those prices will adjust back in terms of price per square foot on where they were. You know what? Dan Sanger photos from around New York. That's Pier 5, right? You guys see the pier with all the lights? I believe that's Pier 5. But check this out. Guys, that's Lady Liberty. This is the beautiful, the gorgeous Statue of Liberty there. Look at that. That's unbelievable. Yeah, Michael Joseph, that's true. This is Tribeca, you got the High Line. Look, Tribeca is very fashionable right now. Very, very fashionable. Huge demand there. You know, a lot of celebrities are there. But, you know, I think if you're buying in Tribeca right now, you're buying top tick, which is fine, right? Which is fine. I'm not saying it's bad real estate. But in my view, if you're looking at long-term price appreciation, right? If you're in the market to buy, right? If you're not in the market to buy, this isn't it for you. But you'd be surprised. Look on Zillow, look on StreetEasy. There's some really nice deals to be had on Central Park South, and those things aren't moving. For some reason, those units have been on the market for a while. Again, older buildings, right? To be fair. But that neighborhood will always be upkept. Because guess what? If you live on 59th Street, Central Park South, guess who your neighbor is? Billionaires Row, 57th Street. So you will always have wealth moving in there, and not just, you know, people making, you know, $1 million a year. You're talking about multi-billionaires. Okay, so the neighborhood is always going to maintain that structure. You have 432 Park Avenue, which you could actually see from here, by the way, which is it's kind of funny. Look at that. 432 Park Avenue, the Chrysler Building, One Vanderbilt, and the Empire State Building, all from here. Yeah, TCF, says Tom, supposedly Manhattan is sinking. I read that article as well. I know, Joe says Kramer swam here. Funny. Evan Weeks has found a studio apartment on Central Park West between 106th Street and 105th for $325,000, $578 a month in HOA. Yeah, up in that area is okay. That's up by like 110th Street, Cathedral Parkway. There's some iffy spots up there. Not something that I would recommend personally, but some people, you know, may want to take a chance. There's just a select few. There's just a select few bad streets there. But yeah, I mean, to Evan Weeks' point, you know, a lot of people, when they're looking at real estate in Manhattan, they only look at the sticker price. They don't take into account the HOA fees, right? And, you know, without saying it, I think it's pretty obvious that your HOA is always going to go up, right? It's not like you've ever got a call from your HOA and they say, hey, great news, we're going to lower the fees that you have to pay us every month. It never happens, especially with the way inflation is going and the cost of labor and the cost of the raw materials to make repairs. Seems like HOAs will always go up. Hey, Outlaw Guitars is watching and enjoying from Georgia. Good to see all of our friends from Georgia. I think they're boarding the water taxi here. And that'll take you back to Manhattan. Hey, Spencer says, hey, Tom and chat, greetings from Silicon Valley. Spencer, long time no see. I hope you're well. I wanted to ask you, because last week we really drilled heavy down on a lot of the housing data that came out. And the S&P Global Case-Shiller Home Price Index came out last week. And the markets that are taking the biggest price declines just so happen to be on the West Coast. Essentially, the further west you go, the bigger the beating real estate is taking. In commercial office and in residential. So what are you seeing in San Francisco? What are you seeing in the Valley? What are you seeing in California in general if you've been traveling, up and down the big state of California? Are you seeing demand of people moving in? Are you seeing the market stabilize? Or are you still seeing, crazy prices? Because from what we see in the data, San Francisco specifically is down, I think 11% year over year. But it's good to see you, Spencer. Thank you for being here. If you guys are enjoying the live stream so far tonight from Dumbo, Brooklyn, feel free to leave a like on the video and click the subscribe button if you're new. We do these live streams about 7 days a week starting at 8:30 p.m. We'd love to have you here. Ethan G says, Tom, have you ever been to Seattle? I have not, but I would like to go. Seattle's another city that's seeing some pretty big price declines in terms of real estate. But I'd love to go to Seattle. Spencer says, I don't see prices dropping here in San Jose. Just that homes are staying on the market for a little bit longer. Ah, got it. I guess it makes sense, right? I think the average 30-year fixed rate mortgage is 6.88%, actually came down a little bit. Hey, Boomer, thank you so much for your very kind $1 donation. Thank you for supporting the live stream. We appreciate it. JM says, are you going to walk through South Brooklyn anytime soon? Probably not. I really, in full transparency, I work crazy hours. I put in literally 12-hour days, and then I do these live streams after work. So the only time I really have availability to come to Brooklyn and other boroughs is really on the weekends, and that's sort of why we're here today. So, just to be honest, probably not. Look at this. This is kind of cool. Yeah, Spencer's starter homes here around $1 million. Now, what are the property taxes like near you? Hey, Charles Hong says, hey, Tom, tuning in from Palm Beach, Florida. Hey, Charles. Charles, I will be joining you down in Southern Florida very soon, my friend. I'll be there for about 2 weeks. I'll be there in a week and a half or 2 weeks, depending on meetings and the like. But I'm looking forward to it because New York City threw us through a crazy ringer this week. It was 90 degrees, everybody, yesterday in Manhattan. Today it's 56 degrees. I'm walking around Brooklyn shivering like a snowman. This is absolutely gorgeous. I've never seen this before, but this is probably one of the most gorgeous outdoor dining setups I have ever seen in my entire life. Look at that. And the smell is amazing. Look at all these flowers. They're real flowers, by the way. Oh, I think it's a wedding. All right, let me get out of here. I don't want to get involved in the wedding. Walks on Wall Street does not crash weddings. But if you guys are going to have a wedding, this is the place to do it. My God, look at that. You have an amazing view of the Brooklyn Bridge, the Manhattan Bridge. One World Trade Center is up there. I mean, could you get a better place to have a wedding venue? I mean, my God, it's unreal. NBA Elias' Tom in Santa Clara County is incredibly high. Over $1 million is the median annual tax payment in the county. Oh, so you're saying $1 million for the home, about $10,000 a year for the property tax. That's actually not too bad, considering you know, some homes on Long Island, particularly, you know, South Shore Long Island, you know, you could have a $700,000 home with somebody says, what is the restaurant name? I think it's called the River Cafe. This is called the River Cafe. So if you guys are interested in coming here, and it looks gorgeous, come to the River Cafe in Dumbo, Brooklyn, and you can enjoy all of these lovely flowers with some of the best views that you're ever going to get in New York City. We'll get out of here because there's a lot of car traffic. But that was cool, right, guys? Here, let me showcase the sign, because this is an unbelievable venue. So if you want to check this out for yourself, maybe you're visiting, or maybe you're going to get married, I'll plug the River Cafe as a fantastic venue to do that. Very cool. Hey, Ed Dunkel says, when I lived in Dumbo, I couldn't afford to eat at the River Cafe. Ed, I promise the next time you're in Dumbo, if we cross paths, I'll buy a lunch. We'll hang out. Ed, I didn't know you live in Dumbo, man. I didn't know that. I never come here either. You know, Ed, did you see the Wall Street Journal article about this building right here? Now, it's the same developer that developed 157 in Central Park Tower. The amenities in this building are nut. These billionaire row style buildings. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. I got to get you guys back up on the Brooklyn Bridge, because I got to get you guys back to Manhattan. I don't want to get you home too late. Oh, cool. Okay, so 53 Pearl Street. All right. All right, cool. And we are under the famous Brooklyn Bridge. Deborah says you hate the building. It's the cheese grater building. I think it looks nice. I kind of like it. But I don't know. Would you guys, I mean, it's tough. Here, I'll give you a tip, okay? If you're going to live in, because I lived in Brooklyn before. I lived in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, which is an amazing neighborhood. It's an awesome, awesome place. But, oh, so it is, a musical was going on. That's what was going on. It's an awesome place, but I will warn you this. If you're thinking about moving to Brooklyn, particularly by the water, Dumbo, Williamsburg, Greenpoint, make sure you go and look at the apartment or look at the property in the winter. Now, why am I telling you that? Because you're gonna fall in love with the neighborhood in the spring and in the summer. You're gonna absolutely fall in love with it when you're walking around Greenpoint, when you're walking around Dumbo in the summer. But let me tell you something. It's a completely different animal in the winter. So you gotta make sure you can put up with the freezing cold and the whipping winds in the winter. Okay, that's my piece of advice, because you're gonna be sold in 2 seconds. So for example, let's say if you tour this building, of course it's stunning. You know, you have a direct view of the Brooklyn Bridge, One World Trade Center, all of Midtown Manhattan. But can you put up with the 50-mile-an-hour winds that are going to barrel down this street in the winter? Maybe you can. Maybe that's for you. But a lot of people get that bait and switch. I got that bait and switch. I could not live in Dumbo. I could not live in Greenpoint in the winter. But again, as you guys know, I'm not a big winter guy. I like it very hot. I like it very humid. I'm different. So if you like it cold, then you'll be fine. But I just want to give you guys that forewarning. If you want to live by the water in the fashionable neighborhoods, make sure you enjoy it when it's cold out. We gotta wait for the garbage truck to go by. Hey, David Kish. Good to see you, David. Okay, we're gonna make a right at the intersection here. Hey, Rich from Tampa, Florida. Our friend British Gray is from there as well. These are all brand new developments too here. Ah, this is a brewery. Evil Twin Brewing. Hey, Brian says I lived through a winter chill. Yeah, so I'm just not a big winter guy. So I agree with Brian. You just got to make sure that you're into that. Here's another brand new development. You could tell almost every single street here in this neighborhood is being built up to something new. Hey, Mr. 007 is from Miami. Good to see you. Oh, no way. Dan Zhang, is this really the Olympia? So, Dan, tell us about it. I'm curious. So, what did it sell for, if you don't mind me asking? I mean, I can only imagine the view from this building, if this is really the Olympia. Now, I believe he has one of the top performing sales teams at Douglas Elliman. I think the top two sales teams in New York, or really across the country at Douglas Elliman, is the Gomez team that Dan Zhang was talking about. And then the second one is the Kirsten Jordan team. So if anybody's watched the show $1 Million Listing New York, the first female broker to be cast on the show $1 Million Listing is Kirsten Jordan. And she has her own team at Douglas Elliman. She's a rock star. And also what makes the team really unique is she's actually married to a very, very successful real estate developer from Italy that develops a lot of multifamily buildings here in New York City. So they have an expertise, particularly in new development. So very, very smart people, great team. Wow, Dan Zhang says the penthouse in Olympia is selling for 19.5. Wow, 5 bed, 4 bath. I can only imagine the views. Hey, the Papa Smurf OG, FDNY is in the house. Welcome to Brooklyn. Hey Joe, this is the Olympia apartment start at $1.8 million. Wow, look at that building, everybody. Look at the architecture there. You know what? Somebody commented at the beginning of the live stream, you know, a lot of these newer developments are sort of ruining the original style and vibe of the neighborhoods. I kind of agree. I mean, this is just gorgeous. I'm gonna try to get you guys closer there. I mean, they have those really unique arched windows. So let me get off this medium. And then we're gonna head directly up this path and I'm gonna walk you guys back over the Brooklyn Bridge. But this building in particular caught my eye. It's got the hot dog guy, hot dog cart. Oh, this is Grimaldi's, the pizza spot. I mean, don't you like that architecture a lot better? That's gorgeous. Hey, Liz is here, says we're in Brooklyn, question mark. Yeah, this is Dumbo. We're right on Front Street, right outside of the Brooklyn Bridge. And Grimaldi's. No slices. I'm kind of hungry, by the way. No slices, but I think they may sell us a pie. We got 1,000 people to split it. FedEx could take 2. All right, guys, let's double back and we'll head back to Manhattan. We'll follow the crowd. They're probably all gonna walk back to Manhattan too. I think he has a stop sign, but I'm not sure. We'll go anyway. Now, I'm trying to remember how to get up on the bridge, actually. I haven't gotten off this way in a long time. We'll figure it out. We'll walk around. TFC, thank you so much. Does anybody remember the live stream where I couldn't figure out how to get on the Williamsburg Bridge? Does anyone remember that? It was hilarious. Yes, Steph UH says, I bet it's going to be cold on the bridge. I mean, I'm freezing, but we've been walking, so I'm not as cold as I was at the beginning of the stream. Again, for those of you who are just joining, it was 90 degrees in New York yesterday. Right now it's 56. These are beautiful, the original beautiful buildings here. Looks like a big traffic jam getting up on the Brooklyn Bridge. Beautiful views. Yeah, FedEx is like figuring out the Metro mover took us I mean, how embarrassing was that for me? It took me and I live in Miami. It took me about a year to get the Metro Mover down, and there was only like 2 lines on there. Watch us go back to Miami and I can't navigate the Metro Mover again. CD, does anybody still want to deny climate change? Sure, we'll all deny it here on the stream, if that'll make you happy. All right, so let's go ahead, curve around, and we'll get on the Brooklyn Bridge and walk back to Manhattan. I kind of remember this now. There's usually a hot dog guy over here. All right, since we're waiting at the red light, you guys got to rate this shot right here. This is a 10 out of 10. Mars Tech, what's up? I'm still waiting for the tulips you promised on Park Avenue. Dude, we've seen them so many times, but just for you, I'll bring it back. We'll go there, I'll show it to you. But yeah, we've seen them many times so far. But Mars Tech, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Nikki Jeffries, good evening. Yeah, Joe says we're gonna get the super moon. When we get up on the bridge, it's probably gonna look better. Now, as we walk on the bridge, you're gonna be able to see some insane apartments. Oh, there's the hot dog guy. I always used to go to this as a kid. Well, not a kid. I guess a teenager's a kid, right? 15 years old, still a kid. All right, team, here we are, Brooklyn Bridge. Wow. Yeah, so Dan Sang was right. Look at that. Could you guys imagine having a place in these buildings, and then that's your view? You have a direct view of the famous Brooklyn Bridge, One World Trade Center, South Street Seaport. I mean, that's $1 million view. So this is the on-ramp. Now, if you remember correctly, they moved the bike lane. So back in the day, the pedestrians and the cyclists used to be on the same level on the Brooklyn Bridge, and it was a horror show. It was a disaster. So they moved the bike lane down here. So the cyclists are now out of the way of the pedestrians, which is good, because there were so many fights on the bridge because these cyclists would blow 30 miles an hour over the bridge when you know that this is one of the biggest tourist attractions in the city. But they didn't care. They would just crush right through these people. So I believe, according to Dan Sang in the chat, this is the brand new Olympia building. Very unique design, I'd say, with amazing views of Lower Manhattan. Yeah, TFC says I take that ramp during rush hour and the traffic is horrible. I could imagine, because, guys, think about it. Like, what time is it, by chance? I'm gonna guess, is it 10 o'clock? It's 10 o'clock at night, and look at all the traffic coming over the bridge from Manhattan to Brooklyn. And this is 11 o'clock at night, 10, 11 o'clock at night. So, I mean, you could only imagine like a Thursday evening at 5 o'clock. This place is probably gridlock. Oh, Daryl, tell Fernando I said what's up. Fernando's a good friend of mine. And this is where we're coming from. So you guys see this building right here, this really, really mega tall building. That is the brand new ultra luxury apartment building that was actually built on top of the old Dime Saving Bank in downtown Brooklyn. And I believe one of our viewers of the Walks from Wall Street stream is one of the lead architects on that building. I think it's the same exact firm who did the Steinway building, which is on Billionaires Row. They did the Dime Savings Bank luxurious apartment tower. Kind of cool to see how New York is totally transforming. Boom, look at that. So this is the Extel brand new development that we were talking about. This is 1 Manhattan East. And look at that view of the Empire State Building, guys. It's perfect. I think my zoom is stuck. My fingers are so cold I can't even zoom. Oh wow, Dan, I didn't know that. All right, so Dan Sang, our moderator, says, Tom, I think Ryan Serhant was supposed to sell that building in the pandemic, but he just opened Serhant, the developer, thought he couldn't handle it and he didn't get the listing. You know, during the pandemic, it's interesting that you mentioned that. You know, a lot of the new developments, let's just say, that were popping up and just ready for completion right as the coronavirus hit, a lot of the developers chose to use them as rentals. Because obviously, if you just spent millions of dollars building a brand new development and you're going to list it for sale during the pandemic, well, you're not going to get top dollar. So that hurt a lot of real estate brokers, because obviously you make more commissions for sales as opposed to rentals. So we'll see if that trend persists. There's another really nice new development over at 59th Street, Columbus Circle. Guys, could you imagine living here? Look at that. You could literally see into these people's apartments. But look at the view you have. I mean, you can't get a better view than that. And you know, that building and that view will always hold its value. You know why? Because your view is guaranteed to be unobstructed at all times. Your building is on a corner lot. There's no way they're going to build another building on the Brooklyn Bridge. So your views will be protected forever. That's probably premium top dollar in terms of price per square foot. Look at that. That is so unique. Oh, Dan, you know what? You could kind of see inside of the Olympia Tower that you were talking about. And it looks like each individual floor is its own unit. Doesn't it look like that? It kind of looks like that. It looks like each individual floor is its own unit and they have their own separate balconies. That's awesome. Hey, Airline POV says, Tom, I'm looking forward to moving to New York City after graduating college. Do you have any tips for where I should live / what to look out for? Well, first of all, my friend, congratulations on your success. It's fantastic. I think New York City is an amazing place to start your career. So I think you're on the right track there. Now, I'll give you a piece of advice what I did when I was very young, I'm going to assume you're in your early 20s because you graduated college. I would live with roommates for the first 3 to 4 years that you come here, because that's going to allow you to do is to delay that instant gratification, right? You're going to be able to save a lot of money. So let's say you come here, you get a job. I'm not sure what industry you're in. I'm going to assume maybe you're in the aviation business, since your YouTube name is airline. But that's going to allow you to save a big portion of your salary. So if you can suffer through it and live with roommates for the first 3 to 4 years, you're going to have a pretty nice cash balance saved up. And if you still like the city, maybe you want to buy something, right? Maybe you buy a 2-bedroom apartment and then you rent out one of the rooms in that 2-bedroom apartment, and that pays your mortgage, right? You're building equity. Or you just get your own place and rent, right? And you can rent a nicer place. Maybe you want to rent this place at 60 Water Street because you were very diligent in saving your money. So that's what I would do. I think a really fun neighborhood, right? If you're into nightlife, into going out a lot, I would look at the Lower East Side, right around St. Mark's Place, if you really like, sort of college town area. But if you like it more quiet, with really, really nice restaurants, more family oriented, I would try the Upper West Side of Manhattan. And that's actually where I'm going to move. I'm going to be moving to the Upper West Side. I think that's one of the greatest neighborhoods in all of New York. So I would recommend those two. Everything else is going to be a little bit steep. I would stay away from the East Side, in my view, but okay, let me try to zoom in on Midtown Manhattan for you guys. Lily says, can you do a stream on house hacking tips one day? Yeah, I mean, we talk about it sometimes, but I mean, essentially house hacking is, the way I see it is, it's a very, very good way for young people to acquire an asset. Because, I'm sure everybody's heard the old saying, a house is not an investment. And in many cases, that's technically true, right? Because it's not spitting off any cash flow, and it's not, you're not generating income from it. But there's a lot of millennials, younger people, that can get a really good head start in the real estate business in terms of being a real estate investor by starting their first deal on a small deal, right? So maybe you find a single family home in your neighborhood that's 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. And let's say if it's a $400,000 deal. Well, what you could do is you could save up a 10 to 15% down payment, buy the house, and rent out the individual rooms. And if you run the numbers, right, let's say if your mortgage payment's going to be, $1,800 a month. And if you could rent out those 3 individual rooms for, let's say, $1,000 each, I'm just using quick math, round examples here. Well, not only are you going to live for free, but your tenants are going to build the equity in that property. And over time, once you've built up enough equity in the deal, well, then maybe you move out, you move another tenant in, and then you go live on your own, right? So it's a good way for people to be fiscally and financially responsible, to build wealth and acquire assets. But the only downside is you got to live with roommates, and not a lot of people want to delay, the gratification. Everybody wants this instant gratification to have their own place. But the way I think about it, and this is an awesome view here of Lower Manhattan, when you're 23 years old to 28 years old, your 32-year-old self is really, really going to thank you if you were fiscally responsible, you saved your money, you invested your money, and you purchased assets that spit off cash flow, right? You're going to be in a really, really good position if you can sort of pay the price today so you can kind of pay any price tomorrow. So, I don't know, that's what I would say. That's what I do It's not for everybody, right? Some people are not comfortable with having, a random stranger in their house, and I get that, but maybe the landlord business isn't for you. Then I would say just rent and focus and double down on your career. That's what I'd say. I don't know, there's no right, I truly believe there's no one right answer to everything. There's 1.5 million ways to become successful in the United States of America, right? I truly believe that. So there's no one right way to do something. All right, guys, this is all of Midtown Manhattan, and you can see the Hudson Yards. Check that out. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, we're gonna start from right to left. This little teeny thing right here is the Chrysler Building. Right next door is 432 Park Avenue. Now the building with the blue spire, that's One Vanderbilt. And then obviously right here is the Empire State Building lit up in that really crisp gold color. Looks great. All right, I'm gonna pick up the pace here a little bit because it's getting cold up here on the bridge. And I have a t-shirt on. Hey, Matthew M, what's up? Good to see you. And then off in the distance, everybody, is Lady Liberty, the beautiful Statue of Liberty. Off in the distance. We'll check out the traffic going to Brooklyn. Lily says, thank you for the advice, Tom. I'm 25 and entertaining the idea of house hacking. Yeah, I think it's a good idea, but the last thing I'd say is always focus. Look at real price is going to go up. If you're going to be a real estate investor, you shouldn't say, I'm going to buy this property because I think it's going to go up in value, right? That's sort of like you're speculating. You want to be able to have the variable, right? You want to be able to come in there and decipher the different characteristics that you can change to potentially enhance the property to add value to that property, right? So let's say if, the kitchen needs some minor updates, maybe the kitchen cabinets are really outdated, it looks really gross, but you could just give the cabinets a fresh paint job and maybe resurface them. Maybe the floors in the living room are these really old and gross travertine tiles. Well, you could probably get some really cheap flooring from Home Depot that looks modern, that looks crisp, that looks really nice, and you could add incremental value to the property while other people would look at the property and say, ooh, I don't want this property because it's old. Ooh, I don't want this property because the landscaping looks gross, right? That gives an investor an edge to say, you know what? The landscaping's only going to take me a couple $100 to fix up. That's no big deal. The driveway is a little bit chopped up. I could just reseal the driveway. I could resurface it. No big deal. So I would look for deals that are trading below market value in terms of price per square foot and be creative and try to make it as affordable as possible. Is how could I add value to this property without breaking the bank to make it rent ready? So that's what I would look for. And there's a lot of good books on this too. There's an infinite number of free resources, right? So just remember that. If you go to your local library, if you go on YouTube, there is an infinite amount of free resources about real estate investing. And I think that's the beauty of the internet. You don't need to pay for anything anymore. The cost of education is so deflationary, it's unbelievable, right? If you put in the work, you could just go on YouTube and go to, literally just Google like Stanford Business School real estate course, and you'll see like this old boring lecture at Stanford or at NYU, and it'll have like 1,000 views that nobody watches it, But if you put the time and the effort in and you really watch it, you know, maybe you'll hear something and you'll hear a notable name in the course. And then you're like, oh, this is a big real estate developer in my town. You know, maybe I'll send him an email, I'll introduce myself. I'll say, hey, my name is Lily, I'm 25 years old, I'm really ambitious, I'm looking to get into the real estate business. I'd love to work for you and your firm for a summer. You know, I'll even do an unpaid internship. I just want to try to add value to your firm in any way possible. You know, I'm just getting my start. You know, are you free, you know, in 2 weeks to grab a coffee or something like that? And you'd be surprised. People will get back to you. You'll be surprised. So I just keep at it. Hey, Clarence Jackson, what's up? Good to see you, Clarence. Hopefully you have your winter jacket on. It's freezing here, my God. All right, I'm gonna pick up the pace a little bit. But if you guys are enjoying the live stream so far tonight, feel free to leave a like on the video and click the subscribe button if you're new. If you want to connect with us off YouTube, you could follow us on Twitter @WalksWallStreet, or click the links in the description, sign up for our newsletter. Not a lot of traffic coming into the city though, guys. It's kind of dead coming into the city. A lot of traffic going out, but not too much traffic coming in. Hey, Luis Carlos, this is Tom. I'm watching from Brazil. Good to see all of our Brazilian viewers. Julia M. Julia, you're in LA. What are you doing in LA? I thought you were in Miami. Julia, I thought you told us you're going back to Miami, Florida. I didn't know you're in LA. Very cool. This is a big tourist spot. Everybody takes photos. Really good spot for it too. Hey, Junior's here. What's up, Junior? This is Hey Tom, great view. Good to see you. And down below right here is the South Street Seaport. It's Pier 17. Hey, out and about, what's up? It says, would you do a really early morning live stream to catch the sunrise? You know what, out and about, that's a really good idea. Maybe I will one of these days, you know? Since it's summer, you know, on my way to work one day, I think it'd be a good idea. But out and about is our moderator from Toronto, Canada. Good to see all of our Canadian viewers. Always a pleasure. Just how I like it. It's 56 degrees on top of the Brooklyn Bridge right now. I'm freezing. I feel like I'm in Canada. Hey, Main Street Moments. This is Floridian, says South Florida, not Southern Florida. Love the stream, Tom. Good to see you, Main Street Moments, and thank you for your very kind $10 donation. So Floridians say South Florida, not Southern Florida. All right, I'll try to remember. I am a Floridian now, right? So I should say South Florida. I'll remember that. Thank you so much for your donation. Hopefully you guys don't see me in the news. You know, one of those Florida man. You know how there's always these crazy articles? Like anytime there's like something really crazy that goes on in the country, it's always like Florida man this. Hopefully that's not me. Yeah, Steve CR's like half Floridian. I guess we'll just have to give it time. That's hilarious. Oh guys, look at that. That's nice. You can see the South Street Seaport. Yeah, Brie Grams is like you're safe because you're only half. And I do spend half my time. I split my time. I don't know, if anything, it seems like I've been spending more time in New York though. All right, I gotta zoom in on the Empire State Building because this is the best. I think that's the best view you're gonna get. Look at that. Yeah, NBA Elias says you're not a Floridian until a crocodile appears on your front lawn. You know, I don't have crocodiles where I live, but I will tell you this with certainty. You know, every morning when I walk outside, I have at least, and no joke, at least 30 to 40 iguanas just baking in the sun on my driveway. I've never seen so many of these lizard things, but they're all over South Florida. Tons of them. And it's gotten so crazy. I don't know if I told you guys this. So I had to put in a door, right? I put in one of those hurricane, not hurricane proof, the hurricane grade, wind grade resistant doors, right? So there's a little gap that you fill with insulation, right, to seal it. And the iguanas eat through the insulation and they come in my house. And I don't know how to stop it. I gotta get like, I don't know, and we keep resealing it. But they eat through it all. They eat through right to the house. So, I don't know what I'm gonna do about that, but once I reseal it, within 6 months you see little chew marks on it. It's like they try to dig their way in. Yeah, boomers like put chicken wire on there, yeah. This is a nice building too, guys. This is Spruce Street. I think it's 8 Spruce Street, maybe? Yeah, but the iguanas down there in Miami are no joke, and they're an invasive species. And I think the state of Florida actually pays people to hunt the iguanas. Like they pay people to kill them because there's just so many. I mean, I have them all over the place. They hang out in the mango trees. They hang out on the roof of my house. Nothing you could do about them. They're everywhere. All right, so we've officially walked across the Brooklyn Bridge. And you're now back on the island of Manhattan. Another beautiful view of the World Trade Center. This is Pace University right here. This is a really good school. Hey, GGNYC, what's up? Big traffic jam going on. Hey, look who it is. Guys, we got the RV or TV back. What's up, dude? Long time no see. Love your stuff. I was checking out I was checking out your channel actually. But thank you so much for the $20 donation. Appreciate you. This is Grab a Coffee. I will do that tomorrow morning, I promise you. I'll actually be on the Upper West Side tomorrow morning, so I will use that donation accordingly. I'll get a cold brew, half and half. It's usually my go-to if I'm up there. This is all the cars coming on the bridge to go to Brooklyn. Okay, I have one more brand new development that I want to talk about. And it's right here. Now this building is so unique and it is so beautiful. It is called 130 William. So if you go to Street Easy, if you go to Zillow, you guys gotta check out this building. It is so cool. You have amazing views, as you can imagine, of the Brooklyn Bridge and the Manhattan Bridge. And the thing that I like the most about this building is the windows. You'll see they're very, very uniquely shaped, very big. I think they're maybe 8x8 windows, really, really big. And if you have a north-facing view, you can see the entire World Trade Center. Now, the amenities in this building are absolutely unbelievable. You have a saltwater swimming pool. I think you have a full basketball court. You have 2 cold plunges. It's just a really, really unique building. I think my phone may die, so we don't have enough time to go there tonight. But I think I showed you guys the main entrance maybe about a week or two now on the live stream. But 130 William, great property, great new development, great addition to downtown Lower Manhattan. Yeah, Janine's is 130 William. I'm looking it up. Yeah, check it out. It's unbelievable. Now, my favorite unit that's actually on the market right now is the, I forget the exact unit number, but it's renting for about $11,000 a month. You guys got to check out the views from that building. It's a crazy, crazy unit. So check it out, 130 William. If you go to Street Easy, if you scroll down, check out the unit that's renting for $11,000. I know it seems like a lot, but that's actually underpriced for the square footage and the view. It's a sick, sick apartment. Really, really cool. All right, well, hopefully you guys enjoyed the Brooklyn Bridge. We are officially now off of the Brooklyn Bridge walking path, and we are right outside City Hall.
Duracell's latest technology helps power electronics.
I wonder what's going on over here. You guys see this? All the bikes here?
Making them the most advanced Duracell batteries ever. With the
Janine, or Jenny. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. But yeah, so the unit I'm talking about, the one that's renting for 11, it's the one with the big terrace. So there's an outdoor terrace overlooking Midtown Manhattan. So it's facing this way. That is a cool one. Yeah, Hawaii says the pool at 130 William is nice. And one of the things you'll notice about the pool, notice the architectural shape, I guess, or the shape of the pool. It's the same shape of all the bathtubs in the units and all of the sinks in the units. So you have some very similar hints and keys of the common areas that are built into the actual units. So the sinks and the bathtubs at 130 William, it looks like the pool, which is kind of cool. NBA Elias says, any famous tenants there? I'm not too sure about that, to be honest. I would assume, but I'm not too sure. But the only person, I mean, I think this is 8 Spruce Street, this sort of wonky looking building right here. I told you guys before, Questlove lives here. He is the drummer from the Roots group. And the Roots group is, I wouldn't say most notable for, but you know, they are the band for Jimmy Fallon. But the Roots group is really, really great.
Should I go down?
Oh, and here's City Hall. City Hall looks nice. Let me check my battery for you all. You know what, everybody? I think we'll have to end it here. If you guys enjoyed the live stream so far tonight, or if you enjoyed it tonight, feel free to join us tomorrow. Tomorrow is Sunday. It'll be our markets look ahead live stream. So feel free to come back and join us at 8:30 p.m. tomorrow. Click the subscribe button if you're new. If you want to connect with us off YouTube, you can look in the links in the description. You could sign up for our newsletter, which is free, where we discuss the financial markets, both on the equity side, fixed income, and real estate. And that's all I got for you guys. I had a really fun time, though. Thank you for coming out. Joseph Hardaway, thank you, sir. Appreciate you as always. Fred X, God bless you. Adrian, Hawaii, thank you so much. Joe Driver, Muhammad. Nat, Austin City Limits. Solo Flyer, Justin S, Susanna Q4. I wish you all a wonderful, wonderful Saturday night. Take some time off tomorrow to relax, recharge, so we could get after it 100% starting Monday. Take care, guys. We'll see you next time.